Sofia of Spain, a recent high school graduate, surprises everyone with an unexpected life choice. This exclusive report explores the reasons that led her to leave Spain and settle in several countries, far from the spotlight, while remaining at the heart of royal affairs. A captivating tale of royal destiny and personal quest. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video if you enjoy fascinating and human royal stories. At the dawn of a summer bathed in promise and uncertainty, a 17-year-old girl, a discreet but now emancipated figure, has just closed a fundamental chapter in her life. Infanta Sofia of Spain, the youngest child of King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, has just graduated from high school. A milestone that, in any family, would be hailed as a rite of passage. But in the Spanish monarchy, every decision, every personal trajectory takes on a public, political, and symbolic dimension. And the surprise is immense. Sofia is not staying in Madrid. She is not following in the classic footsteps of her older sister, Leonor, at the military academy. No, she is taking a different path, at once bold, intimate, and profoundly modern. That of internationalism, mobility, and global roots. For the day after the official announcement of her successful completion of the prestigious International Baccalaureate at UWC Atlantic College in Wales, a disconcerting choice looms. Sofia is preparing to leave Spain again. And not for one country, but for several. A journey of education and life that will force her to move several times over the next few years, weaving a life in constant motion, between different continents and cultures. This decision raises fascinating questions about the young princess's deepest intentions, but also about the inner workings of a monarchy in search of reinvention. The UWC diploma is demanding, academic, and multicultural. It reflects the identity of an elite educated in global solidarity, silent diplomacy, and living together despite differences. There, Sofia shared her daily life with young people from war zones, remote Pacific islands, and disadvantaged neighborhoods in African and South American cities. A princess, yes, but one immersed in the reality of a world in crisis. This immersion was not without significance. According to several close friends, she emerged transformed, awakened, and determined to carve out a future far from gilded palaces and the logic of formal power. But then, what is this plan that is pushing her to pack her bags again, to cross borders, to perhaps flee royal responsibilities? Because unlike her sister Leonor, who is rigorously preparing for her future duties as queen by multiplying military, institutional and political stages, Sofia does not seem in a hurry to fit into the organizational chart of the crown. It is a personal choice, validated by her parents, who encourage her to forge her own personality, autonomous, free, without denying her origins. This model recalls certain young Scandinavian royal women, like Princess Madeleine of Sweden or Princess Alexia of the Netherlands, who have made expatriation a lifestyle. The exact destination of Sofia's next studies remains confidential, but rumors are rife. Some sources suggest a social sciences program at an Anglo-Saxon university, perhaps in Boston or Montreal. Others talk about international relations in Geneva, or even a dual degree between several European and American institutions. The prevailing idea remains that of a nomadic program, structured around several campuses. A form of academic itinerancy, symbolizing a world where borders are blurring, where privileged young people build their futures through global connections and multicultural opportunities. But beyond the educational choice, it is the political message that raises questions. Is Sofia fleeing the weight of royal obligations? Is she deliberately withdrawing from the institution? Is this a discreet maneuver by the royal house to preserve a measure of privacy and freedom in a hyper-mediatized world? Or, on the contrary, is it a long-term investment in a diplomatic, humanitarian, or social career that would give the crown new legitimacy among younger generations? These questions are on everyone's lips in Madrid, in editorial offices and in political circles alike. This repeated move also poses a logistical and emotional challenge. The Infanta will have to live far from her parents, her Spanish friends, and her native culture. She will have to constantly adapt to new rhythms, new accents, and new educational norms. This self-imposed mobility is psychologically demanding. But those who have known her affirm that she is ready, resilient, and curious. That she fears neither the unknown nor solitude. And that her role model, in fact, could be her older sister, Leonor, who, at 16, also made the decision to leave Spain for the same boarding school in Wales, before plunging into the harsh and strict world of the Spanish army. The relationship between the two sisters, often compared, is one of exemplary complicity. Far from any rivalry, they form a complementary duo. Leonor is rigorous, dedicated, and destined to reign. Sofia, more discreet, intellectual, driven by a social and cultural fiber. This choice of a fragmented, almost nomadic path allows the crown to play on two different registers: stability and innovation, duty and freedom, tradition and audacity. Queen Letizia's influence on this educational strategy should not be underestimated either. A demanding and dedicated mother and former journalist, Letizia has always been committed to providing her daughters with an education rooted in reality, open to the world, and free from any form of blind privilege. She wanted them to understand the struggles of their time: climate, equality, human rights. It is within this framework that Sofia's choice fits. A decision that will lead her to live in several cities, several universities, several cultures. A 21st-century princess, at the crossroads between her royal roots and a changing future. For King Felipe VI, the stance is also significant. An attentive father, but king above all, he sees this international career as an opportunity to strengthen Spain's diplomatic ties with new partners, through the modern and accessible figure of his youngest daughter. This is not simply a matter of academic escape, but of strategic positioning. Sofia could eventually become an informal ambassador of Spanish soft power, capable of building cultural, linguistic and symbolic bridges with a globalized youth. This project is therefore not insignificant. It is conceived, planned, and approved by the royal house. But it also carries risks. The risk of a gradual media distancing. The risk of a symbolic break with the Spanish people, who could feel abandoned by an absent princess. Finally, the risk of institutional erasure, if Sofia were to choose a career entirely detached from the monarchy. But perhaps this is precisely where the strength of this royal generation lies, in its ability to adapt, to reinvent itself, to reject constraints. Sofia of Spain, in her surprising life choice, embodies a noble but free youth, aware of her role without allowing herself to be confined by it. She leaves, yes, but she doesn't flee. She builds. Slowly, silently, patiently. Through each move, each adaptation, each encounter, she weaves a unique identity, far from royal folklore but rich with a new humanity. And in this uncertain, constantly changing world, perhaps this is precisely the type of figure we've been missing. A princess on the move, rooted in modernity, a witness to a fragmented world, connected to the universal while maintaining a deep connection to her country. So, is Sofia of Spain's decision to move repeatedly to build an international future simply a personal choice, or the beginnings of a new era for the Spanish monarchy?